Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about this incredible idea from David Robins's book, The Expectation Effect. And it's all about this hidden but absolutely massive power that our own minds have to shape our reality.
So, is your reality a controlled hallucination? I know. That sounds out there, right? But just hang with me for a second. Because what neuroscience is telling us is that our brains don't just see the world, they're actually creating it. They're storytellers, and believe me, those stories can feel incredibly real.
To really get what I'm talking about, picture this. It's December 2018. London's Gatwick Airport. You know, one of the busiest airports on the planet. Well, it's peak holiday season, and everything just grinds to a halt. Chaos.
And listen, this wasn't just some little delay. We're talking a 36-hour shutdown. Over 1,000 flights canceled. 140,000 people were just stranded. Imagine sleeping on the floor of an airport terminal, your whole holiday just gone. The cost was absolutely enormous.
So what on earth could cause that kind of pandemonium? Well, the official story was drones. People were seeing them everywhere. Airport staff, police, regular folks. Everyone was convinced there was this illegal drone buzzing around the runway. A major security threat, right? But here's where it gets crazy. The police launch this huge investigation, they search everywhere, and they find absolutely nothing. No drone, no pieces of a drone, not even a single clear picture. The working theory now? A couple of weird sightings, mixed with a whole lot of fear and media hype, made hundreds of people think they saw a drone. It was basically a mass hallucination, one that shut down an entire international airport.
Okay, so how is that even possible? How can that many people see something that isn't there? Well, it all comes down to a really core idea about how our brains operate. They're basically prediction machines.
What does that even mean, a prediction machine? Well, think of it this way. Your brain isn't just a camera passively recording the world. Nope. It's constantly making educated guesses, predictions about what's going on around you, all based on your past experiences. Then, the information from your eyes and ears comes in and either confirms the guess or tells the brain, hey, you got that one wrong. Try again.
And this is the really key part. Your perception of reality isn't like looking through a clean pane of glass. It's more like your brain is painting a picture for you. So if you're primed to look for a drone, suddenly that blinking light on a construction crane or even a plastic bag blowing in the wind, your brain just fills in the gaps and goes, yep, that's a drone. It's an amazing system, but it can be a double-edged sword. It can work for us or really work against us.
All right, so let's talk about the good news first. How can we make this prediction machine work for us? Well, if our brains are building our reality, that means we have some say in the blueprints, and this leads us straight to the famous and, pretty misunderstood placebo effect.
Most of us hear placebo and think sugar pill or fake medicine, right? But that's not the whole story. A placebo is really just your brain kicking into gear because of a positive expectation. When you truly believe something is going to help you, your brain can actually release its own natural painkillers and start a genuine measurable healing process. It's like you have this amazing pharmacy right inside your own head.
And hey, this is not some new age concept. We're talking way back in 1807. Even Thomas Jefferson noticed this. He saw that sometimes giving a patient a harmless fake treatment, he called it a pious fraud, was actually way more effective than the pretty awful, sometimes toxic medicines they had back then. All because of the power of that person's belief.
Fast forward to today, and the scientific evidence is just overwhelming. Having a positive expectation isn't just about feeling cheerful. It can physically make you recover faster from surgery. It can reduce inflammation. It can even calm down your immune system. Your mindset is literally an active ingredient in your own health. But, of course, there's always a flip side, isn't there? If a positive belief can heal you, then it makes sense that a negative belief can hurt you. And oh boy, it definitely can. So let me introduce you to the placebo's evil twin, the nocebo effect. The name itself comes from Latin, and it means, I shall harm. And that's exactly what it does. It's the same prediction machine, the same mental power, but it's working against you. It's when a negative expectation creates a real, physical, negative result.
And you see this all the time. You know when you get a new medication and you read that long list of possible side effects? Just reading it makes you more likely to feel them. That's the nocebo effect. It's why being anxious can make pain feel so much worse. And in the most extreme cases, you get things like voodoo death, where someone genuinely believes they've been cursed and their body just gives up. When it happens to a whole group of people at once, that's called mass psychogenic illness. And get this for a wild, true story. Back in 2006, there was this super popular soap opera in Portugal, and in the show there was a storyline about a mysterious virus. Well, guess what happened next? Hundreds of teenagers in different schools all started coming down with the exact same symptoms from the show. Rashes, dizziness, trouble breathing, but there was no virus. It was all in their heads. The nocebo effect had literally gone viral.
So you've got the placebo, the power to heal, and the nocebo, the power to harm. When you put them together, you realize this isn't just some weird little quirk of the mind. The expectation effect is a fundamental force of nature. It's constantly at work, either building you up or breaking you down.
Okay, so that's the what. Now for the really important part, the how. If this whole expectation thing is so powerful, how do we actually harness it? How do we get behind the wheel of our own prediction machine and start steering it where we want to go?
Let's start with something we all deal with, stress. We're always told stress is bad, stress will kill you, but what if that's just a bad prediction? The research shows a simple 3-step trick. First, just acknowledge it. Don't try to ignore it. Say, okay, my heart is racing. Step 2, reframe it. That racing heart isn't you falling apart, it's your body gearing you up, giving you energy to perform. And finally, step 3, relabel it. Literally say to yourself, I'm not stressed, I'm excited. It sounds almost too simple, but making that little mental flip can have a huge impact on how well you do.
How about willpower? A lot of us think of willpower like a battery or a tank of gas, right? You use it up and then it's empty. But it turns out that belief itself is what makes it true. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you instead choose a non-limited mindset, if you believe that using your brain actually makes you stronger, that it energizes you, well, the studies show you suddenly have way more stamina. So basically, the amount of willpower you have is exactly the amount you believe you have.
This even affects something as fundamental as how we age. Check this out. A researcher named Becca Levy did this incredible study on how people think about getting older. And what she found was mind-blowing. People who had a positive view of aging, they saw it as a time for growth and wisdom, not just decline. They lived on average 7.5 years longer. Let that sink in. 7.5 years. That is a bigger jump in life expectancy than you get from quitting smoking. Your attitude is more powerful than one of the biggest public health victories of the last century. Wow. So when you pull it all together, from phantom drones at an airport, all the way to how long and how well we live, it's clear that our brains are constantly writing the story of our lives. And they're using the script that we hand them. So look, the question isn't if your brain is predicting your future. Trust me, it is. The only real question left is, what story are you going to tell it to write?